to the dead, and his claims of psychic powers and other extraordinary abilities have sparked some scathing skepticism. John Edward, compelling to some, controversial to others, the host of Crossing Over, is here to answer your questions and take your calls, and he's next on Larry King Live. It's a pleasure to welcome John Edward back to Larry King Live. He's the host of the newly syndicated show Crossing Over, and he's the author of Crossing Over, The Stories Behind the Stories. There you see the cover. That book on this Sunday, in this Sunday's edition of the New York Times, will be number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list. The success of the cable show, the new book, and now he's in syndication. Everything is jumping up for John Edward. A lot of it started here, right?
A lot of it started
right
here.
About that in the book. What happened?
What happened was that my first book, called One Last Time, was coming out, and it was going to be released in trade paperback. And I talk about it in the book as far as the power of the media, how one interview here, and that book then was going to be released in hardcover, and then was released in hardcover, and it just kind of has been a snowball.
And the syndicators saw you on this show, right?
I think a lot of people saw me.
Now you're a star
on this show. I don't know about a star, but a lot of people. I was on vacation in the Caribbean, and people were coming over to me and be like, "Oh, we see you on Larry King all the time."
How has that changed, affected? What has it done to you?
I think that for me, the hopeful, obvious change is that more people are being forced, or hopefully giving the opportunity to kind of look at the subject matter by watching Crossing Over. They're able to kind of, in the comfort of their own home, say maybe yes, maybe no. I'll evaluate as the viewer, and I'll wonder how this is possible, and then hopefully how it overflows into their lives. For me personally, I'm just doing the same thing, just more people know about it.
Well, as you know, this program has no agenda. Therefore, we're open on anything, right? And that's the only way to be fair, because if I come in preconceived, then I'm not doing you any justice, nor the audience. But it's easy to be skeptical about this. Come on, we've never seen a dead person. Let's be honest.
I've seen lots of dead people. I think what we need to look at is the definition of what is a dead person. And for me, I think that it's important first and foremost to talk about just me as a person, my belief system. You know, I'm born and raised Catholic, and I consider myself to be, religious. I have a belief in God, and I think it's more of an energy work that I define this in. So for me, I think it comes from, God and that force, and being able to help deliver a message that I find very positive, peaceful, to help bring closure and healing when the person's at the right person to be able to accept that. And I'm very clear on saying that I don't consider myself a grief therapist. I don't see myself as being a counselor. I think that this could be helpful. I think it can help people in their process when it's the right time, but I don't want people to think like lose a relative, find a medium, life goes on.
Do you find the press has been fair, not fair, or what?
I think it depends upon, the press.
You've been written up in the New York Times. You've been written up in Time magazine. New York Times did a piece on you, Sunday magazine. Were they fair?
I think people try to be fair, but I think that they're afraid. I mean, there are a number of journalists that I've actually, after the fact, have called up and said to them, all right, what's the deal? You were at this group. You know what went down. There was one journalist who brought people to a group, and the 2 people that he brought, that there's no way possible I would be able to know who they were. I thought got the best reading of the entire session and never made it into the article. And I had called him on that and said, why not?
What did he say?
It wasn't the voice of the paper upon which he was writing for, so he wouldn't be able to give his opinion like that. And I said, well, then how was that journalism? I didn't find that as being fair. But then you know what? I said, listen, if I'm going to go around saying that I talk to dead people for a living, I always joke around and say I've got a bullseye on my butt. I've got to understand that, the arrows are going to come flinging.
On your show, you do readings of people in the audience, right? Time magazine suggested that because the show's edited, you could have played with it.
Oh, constantly. I mean, I think that that's been something that first of all, that's not the case. It is a television show, and from one session, there are multiple shows that actually come out of that. So in some cases, yes, it's absolutely. It's edited for time, not for content.
Not edited to make you look right on every one.
No, actually, the flip opposite. Sometimes I think, people who have been in the gallery, who have come to a session, who will be there for the entire taping, when they see the show that they were at air, the first thing I always hear is, how come this didn't happen? How come, their uncle didn't come in, and how come this didn't happen? So I think it depends. I think it's subjective to what the people identify with.
One critic said you were a master of cold readings. That is, you can take people who are a little gullible and pick up on them right away. That's kind of an innate ability.
Actually, let's take that one step further. It seems now, with the success of Crossing Over, there's not just cold reading. I guess with the more accurate readings, there's warm reading and hot readings, and hopefully soon we'll have boiling readings too. I don't know. The cold reading thing is, throw out as much information as you possibly can. For anybody who's familiar with what a legitimate medium psychic like myself does, is you stick to the information. And I'm very clear. I've said it here for the first time. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, but I get it.
Can you give us the first instance in your memory, that you contacted someone who had passed on?
My aunt, if she's watching at home right now, is probably cringing in her chair. My Aunt Anna actually had, when I was very, a baby medium, starting out.
Baby medium?
A baby medium.
That had to be funny.
My aunt said, "Oh, I hear you're doing this new fortune telling thing. Why don't you take me in the back room?"
How old were you?
16, 17.
And what happened?
She, I didn't think she was taking me serious, and she was kind of like placating me. And this is something I was taking I was taking myself serious at the time. And my mom looked at me like, "Dad, go, do it. You can do it." And I wanted so strongly to be able to, kind of say, "This is real." And I started doing what I was thinking was going to be just a regular psychic reading, what's going on now in your life, what's coming up for her. And when I opened my eyes, very quickly standing behind her, I got this glimpse of this woman. And I described her, and the way I described her was that it looked like my uncle, her husband's sister, but a little bit different. And I went down to
what she's...
Oh, she was dead. Mm-hmm. What she looked like, and she had described, she showed me a rose brooch. And when I described all that, my aunt went from looking at me like, I don't see a lady standing behind me, to white. Now this woman, her mother-in-law had been dead for a number of years, and there's no way possible that I would be able to, know this information, and it was a validation, which I think is the key to any type of psychic information. It's got to be validated.
Doesn't it? Do you walk down the street and see people over everybody's shoulder?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Thank
not.
God.
What, you can tune it in and on?
I think you have to. I think it's would be like you walking down the street and stopping people and interviewing them, and saying.
I tend to do that though.
But if you right, and I can also, but it's not appropriate in this work, because if you just walked over to somebody and said, "Oh, by the way, Grandma Ethel is standing behind you," and she's going...
But doesn't it drive you nuts if you see Grandma Ethel behind every person walking down the street?
Okay,
drive me
if
nuts.
It does happen, it is a little, because there's a responsibility of, do I say something and do I not say something? And it's delicate. There's a responsibility here. What if that person's not in the position to be able to receive that?
John, why is everybody that's passed on seem to be okay, and every person you give the message to, everything's fine? In other words, there's no trouble in Netherland.
I wouldn't say that. I think the majority of the times when people come through, they're coming through in a positive way to kind of let people know that are still here in the physical world that they are okay. And there's a major joke in my family. My sister-in-law Isabel constantly is busting my chops all the time, going, "How could they be okay? They're dead. How could they be okay? Is everybody okay?" So it's like a big running joke.
I mean, do you ever run into where problems continue?
But along that line, it's a state of consciousness of being able to define, when they're coming through. The last time they were here, it was their physical ending, their demise, is looked at or deemed negative by us. So them coming through is trying to say, "I still exist. I'm beyond that."
They're not in a physical place?
They're in an energy place.
Okay. So then what do you see when you see them?
I don't see them. I get images in my head. It's like playing psychic charades.
Standing by
in that case, I very quick flash in my mind.
So sometimes you do see them as
in the beginning, not now. Now I get flashes, pictures, words, thoughts.
We'll be right back with John Edward. Crossing Over is number 3 this Sunday in the New York Times. His TV show is in syndication. We'll take a lot of your phone calls. Tomorrow night, Dr. Phil McGraw, Oprah's main man, comes here. Don't go away.
Now, he comes to you, he tells me to acknowledge Tweety Bird. Again, I don't know what the Tweety Bird reference is, but he says to acknowledge Tweety Bird, okay? And he's making me feel like he wants you to know that he's with your family that's gone on before him, okay? Why is he wrapping a yellow ribbon around a tree? Is there a yellow ribbon for him?
When we buried Lewis and we went down the block, every tree was tied with blue and gold ribbons.
Okay.
The color of his school okay. Colors.
I'm telling you, your son is working very hard to let you guys know that he's here. And so I apologize if I got a little in your face. But
we did have a bird when he was little, and its name was Tweety Bird.
Okay. I just need you to know that he's okay.
Larry King is brought to you by Williams, leading energy solutions.
They're coming through town. Williams volunteers from all over the country, riding along pipeline routes, raising money for the United Way. Last year, $16 million. This year, even more. Please support your local United Way with a contribution that stays in your community. We don't think of it as charity. We think of it as our investment in a better world.
With posted pop-up notes in the handy dispenser, you always know where your notes are. So you won't go nuts looking for nuts. And posted pop-up dispensers also come in these cool colors.
Enter a new era of discovery at Bristol-Myers Squibb, where groundbreaking genetic research is underway.
Winning the Tour de France was a victory for cancer medicines. But Luke, It's just the start of incredible things to come.
At the Bristol-Myers Squibb Center for Applied Genomics, researchers strive to unlock the secrets of breast cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes to lead the way in new frontiers against disease.
Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Business as you've known it is history. We're in a brave new world with more information than you've ever seen. And if you're not part of it, you're part of the past. How do you unlock its potential? With EMC. EMC opens the door to all your information. It's the one place where you can see your information from every place. EMC, where information lives.
Some look forward to fall for great weather. Bob Costas looks ahead to great sports action. Get his take on everything from Barry Bonds' home run tear to the NFL refs, plus what Bob really thinks about politics and more on Greenfield at Large, 10:30 Pacific.
We're back with John Edward. Time magazine article also hinted that there's some who think that you mic the audience beforehand, hear what they're saying, and pick up things, which the famed Dunninger used to do, the mentalist.
Totally not true. I appreciate the compliment that they're complimenting me indirectly, saying that the information is accurate from what they're seeing on the show, which means that they think that there's got to be some other way that it's actually happening than the logical
How do you
that's happening.
explain to yourself what you have?
Again, I look at it as being an energy. I don't look at myself as being gifted. I think it's something that we all have, and I think that we all can pay attention.
I could
I totally believe that.
By doing what?
I think by learning about it, by understanding it, and then recognizing the fact that you probably already have had an experience. And that's what my hope and goal is, that when people watch Crossing Over, that they learn about the subject matter, that they don't feel the need to have to go to a psychic, that they feel like, you know what, I know it's possible, and that, you know, it's something that helps them in their own lives, maybe validating something that's already happened for them.
What do you make of the others in your field that you see on television a lot?
I think that we're all doing the same thing. We're trying to help teach and educate people about what we do and what this world is, and I think it's to help give them a tool to help say like the same thing.
You believe in reincarnation?
I do.
Therefore, if we reincarnate, who are you communicating with?
That's a great question. And
that's why I asked it. Just a little joke there.
And the way I explain that in workshops, because it comes up all the time, is let's say that the soul could be an actor, okay? And let's say it's Tom Cruise. Well, we know that Tom Cruise has been in many, many movies. And in each movie he's been in, he's had a different role, identity, personality, and life in that. But we all identify with that energy, that actor, that soul as Tom Cruise. And I believe it's the same thing with our souls on the other side. When we come here, we play a role. And it's a role that is to teach us lessons so that we can understand what it is that the soul needs to progress.
But if my
God.
father is now somewhere else, who's communicating with you?
But that's who's to say your dad would come back that quick. Some people think that, some people like to believe that energies come back extremely quick. I personally do not believe that they come back that quick. I think it might take many, many Earth years before somebody would choose to come back.
So, in effect, Christ is not a big story to you.
What do you mean a big story?
Came back. We all come back.
I think. I don't think I understand the analogy.
I mean, he came back, but you saying in reincarnation we all come back, and we did communicate from the dead. So,
right. I don't know if I would equate most people with him.
No, but I mean, that story doesn't shock you.
No, not at all.
The Christ story,
no,
right?
Not at all.
You're communicating with people all the time.
I communicate with energy, you know, and I think it's something that is energy is measurable. And I look at death as being like evaporation. You know, if we take a glass, and this glass is the body, and the water inside this glass is our soul, over a lifetime that water is going to evaporate. And we know that it's going to change form. It's going to go from the liquid form, it's going to go to a gaseous form. And we know that it's still hydrogen and oxygen. We know this because the lady in third grade taught this to us. You know, but yet we can't see it and we can't experience it. However, we know that it's there, and that's how I see death.
Shouldn't all religious leaders believe you? It's what they preach.
I think that it can be an adjunct, and I have had many, many, many compliments and saying many, many thank yous for doing this type of work, because, and not just from religious people, from therapists and different organizations saying thank you for putting yourself out there along with your colleagues and being able to say that this is available to, you know, and real.
Also, we want you to be right, don't you? I mean, we all would love to know that this ain't it.
But I don't think that's not a positive in some cases, because some people want something so strongly, like when people call up on the radio or when people come to the show. They come because they want to connect with their son. Now, if their son doesn't come through, they're not going to be happy. And they want to hear only from that person. But what happens if their uncle shows up or somebody else shows up? It happens all the time on radio. It happens all the time when you do something that, you know, you can't control. It's like you just open up and go, here you go. And this is the information. And then sometimes the validation comes in after the fact.
When you're wrong, and someone says, I don't even know who you're talking about, how do you explain to yourself?
I just, you know what, I just trust the information. And I tell people, you know what, I could be wrong. And I could misinterpret what I'm being shown or what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing. But what if I'm not? And I want you to write this information down. And sometimes I've coined the phrase psychic amnesia. And that's like the sudden and complete deterioration of the brain. When I start talking to someone, they completely forget who they are, who they're related to, what their name is, how their friends passed, all that kind of stuff, until after the fact. And then the aha moment comes in. And I think that, like, when people, let's say, call up on a show like this, they'll say, hi, John, I want you to try to connect with my mom. Well, then I get their father, and they're going to take all that information that I'm getting from their dad and try to apply it to their mom. Well, that's not going to make sense.
When you say interpreting, are you interpreting this, or are you hearing it?
What happens is I see, hear, and feel energy. So it's kind of like, you know, in your mind, it's like a daydream. I pay attention to the pictures that I'm seeing. They're like quick flashes. And then I hear thoughts, not words, not like verbal, out loud voices. And then I just interpret the feelings that I'm getting.
We'll be going to call shortly for John Edward on this edition of Larry King Live. Don't go away.
Who was asphyxiated? Who had the problem where they couldn't breathe?
My husband.
Okay, is that how he passed?
Yes.
Okay, he's just using that as a description. Catherine is who?
That's me.
You're Catherine, okay. That's the way of validating that for me. And February, the month of February?
That's my brother's birthday.
The one that's passed? Okay. Why is Niagara Falls significant?
We were just there.
You were just at Niagara Falls, okay.
Me and my daughter.
Did you find a feather there? And did you tell your daughter that was from Daddy?
Yes.
Okay, so that's his message for you.
One company provides total document solutions for business. One company offers digital copiers that scan, print, fax, and finish. One company makes the most earth-friendly printers and copiers on the planet. One company has a printer drum that lasts 30 times longer. One company. Kyocera Mita.
The energy industry. What it takes to succeed has changed. Sure, it takes a level head and foresight. But should challenges arise, success will also require a company that's able to take care of business. Introducing Progress Energy. We're stable, but never standing still.
America trusts America Online to make everything easy.
It's just real simple to keep in touch with AOL.
Oh, I love hearing you've got mail.
Instant messages are so much fun.
And now AOL makes it easier to get health information with WebMD.
I discovered WebMD.
WebMD is America's leading source of health information online. Communities on everything from diabetes to weight loss.
Love the chat room.
A site that I trust.
AOL has got it all.
Now's the perfect time to experience America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
AOL is very easy to use.
I was real scared to use any computer at all, but it really was easy.
If I could do it, how hard can it be?
You've got mail.
My mother uses email to keep in touch with the grandkids.
Instant messages are great.
It's one big community.
I can get information instantaneously.
I like to see what the news is.
I do check the weather a lot.
I manage my portfolio on AOL.
I plan my summer vacation on AOL.
I get 24-hour customer service, and it's free.
America Online.
It's easy and it's fast.
So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
We're going to go to your call shortly. True, you made a pact with your mother before she died?
I certainly did.
That she would send you a sign?
Actually, I gave her 3 options. An easy one, a semi-difficult one, and a really hard one.
And now, can they even communicate with you? Because some said you
Well, I didn't want them. I didn't want to. We came up with what they were. I didn't want to know what they were. So
how did you get them?
I got them through other mediums. And one was from England, a woman by the name of Linda Williamson, who never met me, didn't know who I was, didn't know anything about me. And she did a phone session, and it was quite phenomenal when I tell the story. I waited 9 years for those signs. I waited a very long time.
Your mother would not do it directly to you?
Well, I couldn't. I came up with them. Well, I came up with what they were.
So you know.
See, I think any psychic you talk to,
things like,
any psychic you talk to are going to tell you that they're skeptical. You know what I'm saying? That they want the information to be pure and valid. So I wanted something outside of myself. You know, I mean, one time I was going to a psychic seminar in Queens, and I was driving, to the hotel, and I was going to lecture, and all of a sudden my mom started coming through to me in the car, and I couldn't handle it because I knew that I had to do this work, and emotionally it was making me feel like I couldn't handle it, myself. I was like, go to Shelley, and Shelley Peck, who just crossed over, was a phenomenal medium, and I kept directing her to Shelley, go to Shelley, go to Shelley, go to Shelley. And when I walked into the room and I sat down, I was finishing up one session, and another medium was lecturing that day. Her name is Suzanne Northrup, and Suzanne walked by, and I didn't really know Suzanne. She walked over to me in her coat and started to yell at me and like berated me. Said, you know, I'm driving here, I'm coming to lecture, and I've got your freaking mom talking to me and yelling at me, and how dare you tell her not to, you know, not to talk to you, and blah, blah, blah.
Where are all these spirits, John? Where are they?
Where's the internet? It's a place that you can go to. It's a place that you can communicate, but you can't go there with a physical body.
You mentioned the soul. Ever seen it?
No.
Can we prove it?
I think we can prove energy, but I don't think we can prove the soul in the way that I think people are now, I think science is now starting to look at things differently. I think quantum physics has looked at things differently. I think that people in general are more open to embrace or think about things in a new way, and I think it's an exciting time just for that reason.
We're going to take a break, and then we're going to go to phone calls. Have any of these people told you what happens when you die?
No. And it's the number one question that, in the years of doing this, when I would get somebody like really strong on the line, so to speak, I would say to them, all right, like, what are you doing?
The moment of death, what happens?
Oh, I think the moment of death, that when the physical body ceases, I think that the body literally, the body ceases, and the soul just, like I said, evaporates.
This unprovable, unseeable soul.
Yeah.
And goes somewhere?
I think the closest proof that we have is when people have near-death experiences and they talk about, you know, collectively, the same thing repetitively over and over again, the feeling of peace and euphoria that they have while leaving the body and seeing the tunnel and the light and being met by people who have gone on before them.
We'll be back with John Edward, crossing over, number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list, his show in syndication. He is a phenomena, and we'll go to your calls right after this.
She's telling me to tell you that you had a conversation or she made a statement about dying young. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain that? It's as if she's trying to tell me that she knew she was going to go.
Yes. We were driving in the car one day, and we passed a funeral parlor, and out of the blue, she said, that place just reminds me of the gates open to heaven. She's like, if I go before you, which I will, she said, make sure that's where I'm going to be.
Did you do that?
Yes.
How about BobTheBugKiller.com? Yeah, whatever, Bob. XLiveBugs.com. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. When am I drop a dead bug?
We make it easy to create your online identity with a full spectrum of web extensions. Your only challenge is deciding on the perfect name.
TheBugReaper.com! That's brilliant.
Create your online identity and take the steps to get a .biz, .info, or .pro extension with VeriSign today.
What if every market operated like the stock market? Would price swings leave you paralyzed with indecision? Or would you chase whatever's hot at the moment? A Merrill Lynch financial advisor will help you develop a disciplined plan based on your risk tolerance and investment goals, so you can become a smarter investor, not an impulsive one.
Rain, stop. Traffic, yield. CD, play. Climate control, on.
The Infinity Q45 with voice-activated controls.
Lights, green.
The rest of the world should be so accommodating. The new Q from Infinity.
We're back with John Edward. We'll start to include your phone calls. West Bloomfield, Michigan. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I'd like to ask John what he can tell me about my father or my grandfather or even my grandmother who passed away.
What's your first name?
My first name is Lisa.
Lisa, besides the people that you talked about, if I want to let you know that I might not be able to connect with them, I might connect with other people. If you can, just say yes or no, don't say anything else.
Okay.
The first thing I'm going to tell you is I know you didn't ask about this, but to tell me to acknowledge a female figure that I would see as being like a contemporary to you, whether it be like a sister or a cousin, but it's a female person that's passed. And I'm seeing this as being somebody who's got another name like yours, so it's got to be another L connection that comes up around you, that there's got to be an L tied to this. And I feel like this person passes from either breast cancer or a female type of cancer in some way. Okay, that's number one. That's the first thing that I'm being shown. So I don't know if this would be like a cousin on your dad's side of the family or a cousin through the male, like through your husband's side of the family, but there's a connection through a male from what they're showing me. And they're also talking about somebody who would be known as either Richard or Rich, but there's a big R connection that comes up connected to you. Do you understand that? Where's the August connection for you? Somebody passed in August?
In August? No.
There is. There's either an anniversary on the 8th of a month or an anniversary in the 8th month, August. But there's an 8 connection from what they're showing me.
8 connection.
Is there a father-in-law also who's passed?
No.
Then you've got another father figure besides yours.
I do, okay.
There's like another male figure that I would see as being above you, like a father, whether it be an uncle. It's not a grandfather. It's like a father figure. There's an 8 connection, like the 8th month, August, or the 8th of a month. There's a connection to a female figure to your side that I would see as being like a sister or a friend that's passed from like a female type of cancer.
Does any of this make any
That's what's
sense
coming
to
through
you,
to me.
ma'am?
No, I don't know.
Just write it down exactly as I said it.
You were wrong, or
oh, absolutely, absolutely,
could have been cross connections. I mean,
totally that I was misinterpreting.
Millions of people. Okay, Dedham, Massachusetts. Hello.
Hi, John. I'd like to ask about my mother.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to tell again, just yes or no.
What's your name, by the way, sir?
Oh, my name's John as well.
Okay, John.
Hey, John, how are you?
Great.
The first thing I'm going to tell you is I'm seeing boxes. Whenever I'm shown boxes, it means that there's some type of move or some type of moving issue that comes up around someone. So I don't know if you've just moved, if there's a pending move of some sort, but there's a move issue. Is there a brother figure for you here?
A brother figure?
Where does the Lewis or the Louis or the L name?
The L.
Okay, can't with the L.
I don't know. I had an Uncle Lou that had died when I was a little kid.
Okay, is that connected to your mom's side of the family?
It was her brother-in-law.
Okay, is there some type of fire connection to them also?
My grandfather was a firefighter.
Okay, he's also there? But that's the other side of the family, right?
No, my mother, well, both grandfathers were firefighters.
Okay, and your dad's father has passed?
Yes, he has.
Okay, because they're telling me it's the other side of the family. There's a connection to either him having a son with him or him having a younger male, like a grandson, also there. And they're telling me to acknowledge the cancer to the chest. So I don't know if somebody passed from lung cancer, but there's cancer all in here. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now, isn't your birthday coming up?
No.
Somebody's like Hal just passed? Like last week?
Yeah, my sister's was a day or two ago.
That's not it. It's next week. It's like it's coming up like in a week.
My younger brother's is next week.
Okay, and he's out of your state?
He's on the he's in Massachusetts.
Are you in that same state?
Yes, we are.
No, there's somebody else out of the state or he's out of state now, or there's an out of state connection. Of course, they're talking about the out of state connection.
Well, what can you tell him about his father, though?
All I can tell you is what's coming through. And to me, the whole message is to validate the fact that this is still connected. They're telling me.
I lost him. I'm sorry. Trinidad, Colorado. Hello.
Hi. My question for John was that my sister comes to me through dreams sometimes, and I was wondering, is that how people communicate much through dreams?
Absolutely. The number one way that I find that people are able to make connections with their friends and relatives who have crossed over on their own is usually in the dream state, and that's because that's the place where we kind of surrender and say, okay, it's acceptable. Not every dream, though, that we have of somebody who's crossed over is what I would consider a visit. So you really need to kind of like write those down.
Okay. Do you have a question? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, my sister had passed about 6 years ago, and I was just wondering if you could tell me anything.
Where does the
I'm sorry.
Where does the K name like Karen come up?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. There's a C or K connection directly to you or to this family from what they're showing me. So it either means it's who they are. Put your sister on hold and think about your family. There's some type of C or K connection, and they're also telling me to tell you 11, which either means that the 11th month of November or the 11th of a month has some type of significance. And why are they showing me
11th month of that November is her birthday.
Okay, why is there a split family? There's like a split connection there?
Gosh. Well, my dad's side and my mom's side, it's not that they're split, it's just that it's two totally different
No, there's a split. There's a split where like somebody was raised by somebody who's not, it's like there's either a step situation or like an aunt.
Oh, my sister is a lot older. My other sister, she's a lot older than me, and she's my half-sister.
And there's also a congratulations on the baby. Somebody's pregnant right now, of course.
Darcy's pregnant. Darcy was my sister's best friend.
Okay.
She's pregnant.
There's just that acknowledgement that comes up. And they're telling me to talk about Virginia. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Colorado.
Okay, that's not Virginia, but they're showing me the state of Virginia. So I don't know if you have any...
Virginia is, my cousin is living in Virginia now, and I've been talking to her about my sister a lot.
You know, somebody there committed suicide. Like their actions brought about their own passing. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Just remember I said this.
Okay,
all right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Don't forget, it's time to log on to my King's Quiz at cnn.com/Larry King, and we'll be right back with more calls for John Edward. Don't go away.
Molly from Smyrna, Georgia asks, who founded Habitat for Humanity, and approximately how many homes are built per year?
Millard and Linda Fuller founded Habitat for Humanity in 1976. It grew out of a little Christian community called Koinonia Farm in South Georgia. Over the last 25 years, we have built 100,000 houses and now have reached the stage of production that we expect to build our next 100,000 in the next 5 years.
Ask CNN is brought to you by Sir Speedy Printing Copying Digital Network. For outstanding document solution and the center near you, visit sirspeedy.com.
Business.
E-business.
Sir Speedy Printing.
SirSpeedy.com.
Face-to-face.
Online interface.
Personal.
Productive.
Local.
Global.
Very human.
Very modern.
Easy.
Easy.
Sir Speedy.
Either way.
Go behind the headlines next on CNN Tonight. Then unexpected guests say the most unpredictable things on Greenfield at Large, followed by Sports Tonight on CNN.
Are you one of the millions of American males who would like increased sexual energy? If you've been considering Viagra as a solution, consider something different. All-natural Enerx. Clinical studies show various ingredients of Enerx enhance sexual energy, increasing desire, performance, and satisfaction. Enerx is all natural with no side effects. With Enerx, you'll feel the increased energy within minutes and with no chemicals. We're so sure you and your mate will be completely satisfied. We'll offer you a 30-day, no questions asked, full refund. Enerx stimulates sexual energy by expanding the blood vessels, causing increased blood flow to specific areas of the body. Unleash the power of Enerx now.
Call 1-800-367-7960 toll-free, and it will be delivered discreetly to your home. Get results using the safe, all-natural alternative, Enerx.
This is CNN. We're back on Larry King Live. Before we continue with John Edward, we have just learned from our sister network, CNN SI, through a very informed source, that Michael Jordan will announce within 10 days that he is returning. He'll be playing basketball this year for the team he owns. They'll have to switch the ownership, of course, the Washington Wizards. The reason giving? No other reason but love of the game, nothing else. CNN SI reporting to us that Michael Jordan will announce his return to basketball within the next 10 days for of course, the Wizards. And, of course, you probably knew that. Anyway, we're back with John Edward. His book is Crossing Over. The book will be number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list this Sunday, and his show is in syndication. And the caller is from Brooklyn, where Michael was born. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm trying to connect with my aunt.
Okay, can we put your aunt on hold for 1 second?
Okay.
Is there a grandfather for you also who's passed?
Yes.
Okay, that's her dad?
Yes.
Okay, and is there a Joseph connection to that?
Yes.
Okay, and does he also have the son who's passed?
No.
Yes, he does. Let's put it this way. There's a younger male energy directly connected to the grandfather.
Okay.
So either he has the younger brother there's 2 Joes?
Not that I know of.
Okay, there's 2 Joes from what they're showing me. There's your grandfather who's got the connection to Joseph, and there's another Joe that they want me to acknowledge. So whether it's Joanne or Josephine, I don't know, but there's 2 Joes. And was your aunt's passing extremely fast? Because I'm going to talk about a very fast passing. Actually, specific? No. I mean, like, there's somebody there who passed from either what I would see as being an embolism or an aneurysm or a very fast heart attack. Like, very, very fast. Like,
an embolism.
Like, really fast?
Yes.
Okay. They're also making me feel like I need to acknowledge that there's some type of connection to the month of February, or that somebody either was born in February, or there's something big in February.
It's his wife's birthday.
Do they have anything to tell her? Usually you tell her something that they're going to say.
She's also passed.
Well, one of the things that they do by validating this for me is their way of saying that they're still connected, and I think for me being I have to kind of get the evidence that this is their way of letting know that there's around. I do want to acknowledge that they're telling me, is your mom still here? Because they're telling me to acknowledge hello to your mom.
Yes.
All right, and I'm also supposed to talk about her knee and saying, like, her knee's okay now? What's up with the knee?
She has a bad knee.
But it's, like, better?
She has trouble walking.
Okay, and you make fun of your mom's knee?
No, I don't make fun of her.
Yes, you do. They're telling me you make fun of your mom's knee. You were teasing her about her leg. You just did this.
I don't remember.
Okay, it happened at the younger female's party where she was having a hard time, somebody's having a hard time getting into the room or getting into something, and somebody was joking around about the person walking. This is their way of letting you know that they were around. But your aunt is fine, and the people that I acknowledged are also there.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you.
When you say fine, are any dead people sick?
No, they don't have physical. Well, I don't think they have a physical body.
They don't have illnesses, right?
No, I think that
they don't eat. They don't.
I think that in the way that there might be energies on the other side who are less evolved. I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? Where they might not choose to evolve, or kind of like we'll call them dropouts in some ways.
Hickory, North Carolina. Hello.
Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Don't say anything. The first thing I want to acknowledge: is there a Bill connected to you?
Joe?
No, a Billy or a Bill name.
No.
Yes, there is.
Don't argue with John. There is.
I'm sorry. Soon as I heard your voice, it was like boom. There was like a huge B connection in my head, which means either it's you or there's a B connection directly to you, and that there's an older male figure.
Could be the next call.
Hold on. Or there's an older male figure who's also passed connected to you. So I don't know if it's your dad who's passed or it's an older male that's there. But this person passed and they had cancer that affected their brain, or there's tumors to the head.
Okay, that would be my uncle.
Okay. Is that connected to your mom's side of the family?
Yes.
Okay. Is mom still here?
Yes.
Okay, and there's some type of connection to B. There's got to be like a Billy or a B name there. Or Betty. Is that connected to that same person?
Yes.
Okay, I need to congratulate you on the uniform. So I don't know if you're doing something with the uniform, or if there's like somebody who just graduated in uniform or something, but there's like a uniform, like a cadet feeling that comes up in this family, just so you know. And they're also making me feel like your mom's mom must be there because they've got the older female to her who's also there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and they're also telling me to acknowledge that somebody's a double amputee. Somebody's missing, or they're paralyzed in both legs.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I'm sorry?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, put it to that side of the family also. I'm sorry, as soon as I heard your voice, boom, that's what came through.
You have a question, sir?
Excuse me?
You have a question?
I just want to know if he could connect with my father who passed away several years ago.
In addition to what I said, I can only tell you that, and I'll say this, there's somebody there who either had cirrhosis or there was somebody there who had severe liver disease. Do you understand that?
That would be my uncle who had cancer.
Okay. And that's connected
to the brain.
That's connected to your mom's side of the family too, right? That's the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not connecting with your dad, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that he's not okay. I just feel like, these are the people that see this as their opportunity. This is a big deal with the whole cadet graduation thing, so I want you to remember that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back with more of John Edward and more of your phone calls. Tomorrow night, Dr. Phil McGraw, you know her as Oprah's man, and the famed psychologist will join us tomorrow night. We'll be right back.
Enter a new era of discovery at Bristol-Myers Squibb, where groundbreaking genetic research is underway.
Winning the Tour de France was a victory for cancer medicines. But Luke, it's just the start of incredible things to come.
At the Bristol-Myers Squibb Center for Applied Genomics, researchers strive to unlock the secrets of breast cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes to lead the way in new frontiers against disease.
Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
With posted pop-up notes in the handy dispenser, you always know where your notes are. So, you won't go nuts looking for nuts. And posted pop-up dispensers also come in these cool colors.
Look at that. This market is just, I don't know that my retirement investments are right anymore.
I know, I was the same way. So I called a Fidelity retirement consultant.
Well, if you're feeling unsure, you may be spread too thin.
Well, I do have IRAs and 401ks everywhere.
Well, we can consolidate those with Rollover Express. If it's been a while, they could be misallocated. You can reinvest your retirement savings based on a plan we help you develop.
I just want to know if my retirement is on track.
Call. It's not hard.
To consolidate retirement savings with Rollover Express, call, click, or visit Fidelity.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Want happy employees? Help secure their financial futures. At the Principal Financial Group, that's what we do. The Principal is the 401k leader, financial solutions for you and growing businesses. The Principal Financial Group, we understand what you're working for.
Oprah's main man, relationship expert Dr. Phil McGraw is here. Feeling helpless, heartbroken, or just plain fed up? He says stop complaining and start changing, and he'll take your calls tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern on Larry King Live. We're back with John Edward. Can it be safe to say you do not therefore fear death?
don't fear being there, but the process doesn't thrill me of how you get there.
Virginia Beach, hello.
Hello, Larry and John. John, can you communicate with my father to find out if he's happy with how our family is getting along without him, and what was the true date of his death?
Actually, you don't know the date of your father's death?
He was found deceased.
Oh,
okay. Let me just, I'm going to start off in a unique area, which I think is important because I think other people are going to want to hear this also. I don't know if, I'm just going to say this. First and foremost, your dad have a dog that passed?
A dog?
Yes.
No, but he had...
Okay, wait. I just want to tell you, there is a dog that is with your father. Because as soon as you started asking me the questions, I started getting a dog barking, which is a symbol to let me know that there's an animal or a pet that's passed.
Okay.
And this would be something that I see is not, this is like an old pet, like 12 or 13 years old, and it's part of the family from what they're showing me.
Okay.
And I feel like was there before the father actually passed.
Right.
They're also telling me to tell you that the 14th of a month is significant. So I don't know if there's a birthday and anniversary on the 14th. And they're showing me the sign of Gemini, which either means that somebody is a twin or that somebody's actually the sign of Gemini, okay? That's the number one. Your dad must have a sister or a female figure to his side who's also there that passed before him. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and I feel like that would be somebody who would have met this person, and they're telling me to acknowledge either Ginny or Jeannie or Jenny or some type of name that sounds like that in connection with this family. And I'm thinking that there's a 2-day thing going on because there's a 2-day delay before somebody would have seen this person. Do you understand this?
Okay.
Did somebody see him 2 days before?
Yes, we all did.
But like 2 days before?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like it's not, it was probably right after I don't know. I think it's within that 2 days that they're showing me. And I feel like I need to acknowledge not getting the cake.
Yes.
Do you have any like, is there like, was he diabetic or something where he wasn't allowed to have it? Or something wouldn't let him have the cake? Because I feel like I couldn't get the cake, whatever that means. There's also 2 wives. Was he married twice?
No.
Was there a wife and a very significant friend?
No.
Okay, let's just put it this way. I've got 2 female energies that I feel like I need to acknowledge for this man. So whether it be 2 wives, 2 very close females, a sister and a friend. I have no idea what this is, but I know that there's an Elizabeth or a Liz connection that's connected here.
That's my sister, Elizabeth.
Okay, this is just their way of acknowledging to me that they're connected to you. And please, I want you to understand that the first thing I got was the connection to the dog.
Right, I wrote that down.
Okay, and also, I don't know, he had the like a hernia in the stomach or something?
Yes.
Okay, this man was plagued with a lot of stuff, but I feel like there's like a throwing in the towel. So this was somebody who was ready to leave. Do you understand that?
Right, right.
Do you have the book of poems or the book of poetry or the special book?
Yeah, I don't know which book.
Okay, to me when I see this, it's a symbol. It either means it's like either a family Bible, it's a family something, and inside this Bible there's either like the ribbon or there's like the picture or it's a pressed feather or rose. It's something I feel like would be significant.
Okay.
Just know I feel like this is their way of coming across. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mount Morris, Michigan. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
John?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm calling,
Well, first of all, don't say anything. What's your first name?
Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. The first thing, there's 2 things I want to acknowledge. 3 things I want to acknowledge. 1, I don't know if you have the son who's passed, but they're telling me to acknowledge a younger male or somebody's lost a child around you. Do you understand that? Actually, this is a vehicle accident that somebody passed in, and there's some type. It's like an impact that they're trying to show me, and it's directly connected to you. It's not for anybody else on hold or anybody else that's watching. It's somebody. It's a younger male that passed, and Kathy, it's directly connected to you. And I feel like this is somebody who actually was driving. It was their fault. There's a J or a G name that's connected to this also, and they're telling me to also acknowledge the fact that separate from that, there's somebody who was murdered.
Wow. I'm not quite sure on that.
Okay, I want you to remember what I'm saying, okay? There's somebody who passed at the hands of somebody else.
Who are you calling about?
My mother.
No, I'm not getting your mom. You've got somebody who's Kathy, there's somebody who's coming through who's acknowledging that they passed, like either the husband or the boyfriend or somebody that they were connected to was involved in the past. This might have been going back a while,
okay,
but it's directly connected to you.
I had a car accident and I'm a paraplegic because of that car accident.
That's not what was coming through, though, unless somebody else in that accident passed.
No, nobody passed in that.
That's not it. That's not the connection. The connection is that somebody connected to you, younger male, passed in a vehicle accident or with an impact of some sort, and there's a J or G connection to this. And there's also a connection that's separate from that. There's somebody in your circle that I feel like actually was murdered, like somebody else caused their passing. And it's either like a friend's sister, a friend's girlfriend. It's connected to in your circle. So I'm giving that to you.
You're not getting a mother at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Doesn't mean she's not okay. It just means that when I open up to do this and I connect with somebody, they see this as their window of getting through, and that's what happens.
Back with more of John Edward on this edition of Larry King Live right after this.
Yippee! Yes!
We are in the sweet spot now, baby.
Give me five. There is no stopping us now.
This
the sky
market
is the limit.
incredible.
NASDAQ. They expect the NASDAQ to surge above 6,000.
Rather than feel nostalgic for days gone by, a Merrill Lynch financial advisor can help reallocate your portfolio to better navigate today's up and down market.
Isn't even close to running out.
So while we can't bring back the past,
NASDAQ 10,000.
we can make the future something to look forward to. They're coming through TAM. Williams volunteers from all over the country, riding along pipeline routes, raising money for the United Way. Last year, $16 million. This year, even more. Please support your local United Way with a contribution that stays in your community. We don't think of it as charity. We think of it as our investment in a better world.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
This is a complete broadband solution with a nitro-powered on switch. This is igniting your mission-critical applications on the fattest optical IP pipe on the planet. This is your business, screaming 1,000 times faster than yesterday. This is moving beyond connected. This is riding the light. This is the technology that makes it happen. Quest, ride the light.
John Edward was telling me that sometimes, as you heard about that murder thing, they follow up and find, when they check, that there was some connection, right?
Well, I think the biggest and the most exciting thing on crossing over that people are going to see is that we're following up with the people that have been read in the gallery. And these people are only too happy to invite us back to say, this is what made sense, this is the revelation after the fact. And it's actually becoming one of my favorite things to watch on the show, because it gives me the courage to sit here and look at the camera and say, yes, you do, write it down.
Because you're pretty, you firmly believe in what you
Absolutely.
believe in. Yeah. Huber Heights, Ohio, hello.
Hi there. How are you this evening?
Fine.
How are you, John?
I'm doing good.
This is Alma.
How you doing, Alma?
Pretty good.
What's the question, Alma?
I'd just like to see if I could communicate with my sister.
There's two of them, right?
No, just one.
Nope, there's two.
You're telling her she has two sisters?
I'm telling her that what I'm getting is that there are two energies that I would see as being to her side who have passed.
Yes.
So which means that you've got two sister figures who have crossed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and there's a Joyce connection to one of them, or there's a J connection to one of them, because I'm getting a J connection. And there's also somebody around you had Alzheimer's also, or there was some type of connection that they were not of clear mind prior to their passing. Are you aware of that?
Yes. There's
also, are you in a gambling community?
No.
Okay, is there some type of somebody just win money?
No, maybe I will.
No. They're referencing some type of gambling win. So I don't know if there's a joke here where somebody used to joke about, winning the big lotto jackpot or winning bingo or something, but there's a joke about that. And I'm also supposed to talk about your ring. I don't know if you have one of the sisters' rings, but there's a connection to a piece of jewelry that's passed down, but it's got to be more left-hand related, like wedding band, or they want me to acknowledge somebody who I would see as having the wedding band connection, because they're bringing that up also. Is your dad also there, Alma?
Yes, he is.
Is he the archery man?
An archery man?
Did somebody Did somebody shoot with a bow and arrow or do some type of archery?
Not that I know of.
Okay, that's a unique symbol for me. Somebody's doing an archery thing, or there's some type of archery connection.
Maybe it's Cupid.
There's got to be a bow and arrow connection. So I'm going to leave that with you. But I got that connected around the dad energy.
Thank you. Dublin, Georgia. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm calling to see if I can communicate with my father.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to ask you, I'm telling you, I'm getting an S name. Who's got the SH connection?
S name?
Like S.
Like in Sam. Or
like as in Sharon. Or Sherry. You know what? I'm not connecting with you. This is not for you. I'm sorry.
You don't get any reading?
I'm not for her.
No. Does that happen with some people?
Absolutely.
And how do you explain it to
Because
yourself?
I think it's going to be for the next person.
Washington, Indiana, hello.
Hello.
Hi. Who's Sherry?
Sherry.
Yeah, okay, never mind. A little joke. Go ahead. What's your question?
I'll do the readings.
Okay.
What's your first name?
Carol.
How you doing, Carol? Carol, who around you has the SH connection?
S-H.
Like Sharon, Sherry?
Sharon.
Sharon. What is that?
That's my sister's last name.
Okay, is she still here?
Yes.
Okay, do you know if there's somebody younger in that family who's passed? Okay, let me just say this. The first thing I'm going to tell you is there's a mom figure who's coming through. So I don't know if it's your mom who's passed or if it's a mother-in-law, but there's somebody who passes from congestive heart failure or they filled up with fluids. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, they're telling me to acknowledge that the 18th of a month has some type of significance. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, they're also making me feel... Oh, your dad's there too?
Yes.
Okay, and they're also telling me to acknowledge Charles or there's a C name. There's like a C connection to that side of the family. So between the father and the mother energy, they're telling me to acknowledge the SH in the family, and they're also making me feel like, do you have cows?
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 No, we don't.
Was there some type of cow connection to the family?
No.
Okay, I want you to remember that I'm saying this. They're showing me cows. Now,
maybe they drink a lot of milk.
I come from the city, so bear with me with my reference. I think cows, I think Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So I think I need to talk about real cows, like as in milking the cows or owning the cows, but there's a reference to like living cows in some way. So cattle in some reference is what they're trying to show me.
It's abstract. You don't come up with everyday things. You know what I mean?
That's
the archery thing. That ain't out of the realm of the normal.
No.
Just remember the cow thing.
Look up the cows, ma'am.
Thank you.
If he tells you cows, there's cows.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Can you let me know if my husband's crossed over?
See, I'm seeing it again. What's your first name?
Carol.
Carol, I want you to really...
You don't know if your husband died?
Yes.
Carol, why is they're showing me cows? Did somebody in his family, like, do something cattle related?
No.
Are you sure? There is cows.
Did your husband run off to the west?
No.
There's cows. If they're showing me cattle and cows, there's a definite like...
I got to take a break, but we'll check on that. Boy, you are really... Okay.
It's never dull in my world.
Okay. Funny, see, now, it's weird. I saw a zebra. It's crazy. We'll be back with our remaining moments right after this. Don't go away.
Would you like to lower your monthly mortgage payments or use the equity in your home to consolidate your credit card or other debts? Just log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED. Today's low fixed rate with 0 points is only 6.875%. Lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. It's smart money from ditech.com. For fast, friendly service, apply online or call 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
Experience the all-new X-Type at your local Jaguar retailer today.
AT&T Data and IP networks rely on technology that speeds data around the world instantly to keep your employees in the loop. And multiple layers of security to keep everyone else out. On guard.
King's Quiz is brought to you by AT&T Boundless. Imagine what we can do for you. Log on to cnn.com/Larry King and test your knowledge of tonight's topic.
You can now log on to our website at cnn.com/Larry King. You'll get the answer to King's Quiz. And we'll go to Yelm, Washington with John Edward. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering if he can connect with my uncle.
What's your first name?
Veronica.
How you doing, Veronica?
Hi.
No, I can't connect with your uncle.
Okay.
Are you currently married?
Yes.
Is there like a mother or an aunt figure on your husband's side of the family who just passed?
A mother or aunt figure? No.
Yes, there is. Somebody on that side of the family, older female, recently passed or connected to the male in your life.
I don't think his mother and his...
Where's the Helen connection?
The Helen?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
Is he there with you?
He just went over next door to watch on the TV.
To watch me on the TV?
Yeah.
So he's going to come running back going, yes, there is a Helen.
Oh,
no.
wait, here he comes. Yes, he's running back over here.
Here he comes.
Do we have a Helen?
On mom's side?
Yes. His mother's side?
Can you put him on?
Yes. Here.
What if he has a girlfriend named Helen? You ruined his whole life.
Hi, how are you? What's your first name?
February 23rd.
That's your first name?
Oh, Bobby. Bobby Adams.
How you doing, Bobby? Just stay focused with me here. What's the Helen or Ellen connection to your family?
Helen or Ellen?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
Okay, here's the deal. What's coming through, I was just talking to your wife. They're telling me to acknowledge that connected to your side of the family, there's an older female that I would see as being like a mom, like an aunt, older female who has crossed. And they're making me feel like there's like a Helen-Ellen connection to that side of the family. And there's also the man that was known for either you went hunting with the person or there's the outdoorsy kind of thing going on there. Where's the hiker or the woods in the family? Like lots of land, lots of trees, house in the middle. Where's that?
Oregon, I would think.
Is that where they grew up?
My father and my mother grew up in Colorado. My father grew up in Texas, or...
It's not Texas.
Texas or Oklahoma.
It's not Texas. It's more of a woodsy, treesy area. Anyway, what's coming through is they're telling me to acknowledge two things. One, I don't know if you guys personally lost a child, but they're rocking a baby on the other side, which lets me know that there's an energy of a child that's there.
Oh, my older brother lost a baby during birth.
They're telling me to acknowledge the energy of the child is there. They're also making me feel like there's either somebody who's got a name that sounds like either Tyler or Taylor or a unique T name, okay? There's a unique T connection to this. But they're telling me, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that there's a Helen or an Ellen or a name that sounds like Eleanor, like that to me, who's connected through you, who's there, and that's the person who's trying to come through. So I'm not getting the uncle.
Sorry, we're out of time. I'm sorry we couldn't get to the other calls that we didn't reach. John will, of course, return to this program. He is a regular guest and always welcome. I congratulate you on Crossing Over.
Thank you very much.
Crossing Over the book is #3 this Sunday on the New York Times bestseller list. Crossing Over the television show is now in syndication. You can check your local newspapers for time and station. Dr. Phil McGraw, Oprah's main man. He's conducting a lot of special things going on now on Oprah's show, and we're going to talk about that and a lot of other things tomorrow night with Dr. McGraw. He'll be right here with us in Los Angeles. Big guest also on Wednesday night, connected with the never-ending story of Jimmy Hoffa. So we'll give you more information on that tomorrow night. Stay tuned for CNN Tonight. That's next with an update on the Michael Jordan story. For John Edward, yours truly, Larry King, thanks for joining us. Good night.
I'm Catherine Calloway at the CNN Center. Tonight, a decision that most basketball fans have been hoping for. Air Jordan will fly again. Does he still have what it takes? And there's new hope in detecting the mind-robbing disease of Alzheimer's before it strikes. It's a disaster that forecasters say is waiting to happen. CNN Tonight is 2 minutes away.
Go behind the headlines next on CNN Tonight. Then unexpected guests say the most unpredictable things on Greenfield at Large, followed by Sports Tonight on CNN.
Now you can improve your sexual performance free. That's right. To introduce you to VitaFree.com, we're giving away a 120-day supply of Passion ZX, the incredible new all-natural herbal supplement that's proven effective to increase your sexual performance, increase sensitivity, and stamina. Enerex and Viromax sell for up to $200 for a 120-day supply, but VitaFree.com gives you a 120-day supply of Passion ZX for free. Get back the energy and vigor you always had. Now anyone can increase performance, increase pleasure, and make that special relationship the most satisfying it can be. Enerex and Viromax sell for up to $200 for a 120-day supply. Passion ZX is all natural, improves blood flow, and will increase your sexual energy without side effects and without a prescription. To get your free 120-day supply of Passion ZX, all you have to do is call the 800 number on your screen right now or log on to VitaFree.com. But don't delay. This is a special limited time offer. Call right now and get your free 120-day supply of Passion ZX shipped confidentially to your home.
Well, we're here on the Virginia Beach Boardwalk with Alan. And you having a good time, Alan?
Oh, yeah. Beach is great. Great seafood, great weather.
Well, you know, you can enjoy this all year round here in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, golf is great all year. Museums, shopping. I go whale watching in January.
So nobody has to convince you that Virginia Beach is sensational any time of the year.
Oh, I know. Here all the time.
Boy, you must have a pretty liberal vacation policy at work.
No, I just live 2 blocks over there.
Oh, really? Boy, if you're not on vacation, then how come you're wearing that shirt? Well, I'm here in the Virginia Beach ocean front, soaking up some rays with Becky here. You having a good time, Becky?
Oh, yeah, it's a great beach.
Now, what if I were to show you a whole bunch of great things you could do besides sitting on the beach? Would you maybe want to come back a little sooner than next summer?
Sure.
Ah, great. Well, if you call this number right here on the screen.
Where?
Right, excuse me?
What number?
What if I were to tell you that simply by calling this number on the screen,